Hello guys, welcome to Pitching in Line. In this video, we're going to talk about IPL 2024. The season so far has been very good, and the discussion in this today's video is about how the teams have performed until 10 matches. Here, so far, right now, all the teams have played minimum of 10 matches, with few teams playing 11. And so far, the table has been very stable in terms of the top two positions. Rajasthan has been maintaining that top position since day one, and they still have it, followed by KKR, LSG, SRH, and CSK, which were also the teams which were in the top five, but in different positions the last time when we made the video. So we're gonna start with the team Rajasthan Royals. Take over, bro.
Yeah, Rajasthan, I think this is like one of the most consistent teams of the year, and they haven't, gone 1 foot wrong. Although they lost their last game against Sunrisers by just 1 run, but the consistency is there, and they understood that who are their match winners, who are their combinations, and despite losing Berger to a slight niggle, I think he's available for selection. So even after that, the combination was disturbed a little bit. They kind of had a stable combination, and they everyone knew what their role was. And although even they so see they lost those last few games closely, that will help them because if you keep on winning games without breaking any sweat, I mean that's not necessary that if you keep on winning you will lose at one point. It's not the case, but again sometimes complacency strikes. So if you one at some point if you lose games like this or win games like this, you'll know that where are we going wrong and where should we better ourselves. So with these close games, I think RR even that aspect is getting fulfilled. So I think they are looking a team to beat now, even though they lost the last game.
Yeah, I think they're definitely team of the season so far. They've played 10, they won 8. And the two matches that they lost, both the matches they lost in the last ball.
Yeah.
So that speaks volumes about the quality of the team that it possesses. And I think the strength has always been the strength has always been the strong Indian core and the foreigners who are doing their job. I think the roles have been very clearly told to the players.
Correct.
So, and that is what we are able to clearly see in their performances. So I expect Rajasthan to. I mean, they're already qualified. I think with 8 matches, they are more or less will be qualified.
Yeah.
And I think they'll look.
Yeah, they will just look to finish in top two. That's it. That's the main agenda. So I think with these 8 wins from 10 matches with 4 games to go, I think even if they win a couple of games, I think they will secure that top two positions, and that is what their aim will be. And yeah, so let's see how they finish. But I think they won't be disturbed. Their position won't be disturbed, in my opinion.
So let's move on to the second team, that is Kolkata Knight Riders. I think this is another team which has been super consistent. They have been giving great performances, flamboyant style. I think they have everything, dude. They were this team which kind of scored 272 in one of the earlier league matches, a high scoring game, and they defended 169 in Wankhede. In this season's IPL, where we have seen 160s and 170s hardly being defended, and going and defending in ground like Wankhede speaks volumes of their confidence, volumes of the quality that they have. And going ahead, I think this is one team that you should definitely look into it. I mean, they definitely had their ups and downs. It's a team which kind of lost not defending 260. That is, I mean, whatever you say in this format, I know where the runs are being scored at a higher rate, but I think you should be able to score 260 runs on the board. So I think they had those up and downs, but I think again they have found ways to win. I think they're still a very strong contender to finish at top two, and probably even to win the title as well.
Yeah, rightly said. And even their bowling, I think Mitchell Stark was a slight concern for them, and he has come back now. Now next game they will have Harshit Rana available. for selection. So I think that will only make them, more stable. Their spinners doing Sunil Narayan doing the job with the ball too, and Varun Chakravarti coming back to his form. I think good signs for KKR going ahead.
Yeah. So, and the next team that we're going to talk about is Lucknow Super Giants, which is being led by KL Rahul. And this team is looking really, really good. As it's a team which is like fine wine. As it is going longer and longer, this team is getting better and better. And they won pretty consistent matches as well. They went to Chipok, and it's not easy to win at Chipok against CSK. And they're using their resources very smartly, well. So and yet their next four matches are against very quality teams, and I think they should be mindful of not dropping matches which might lead them to run out of playoff contention, and they also have a high chance of qualifying for the top two, so they should be concentrating on it. And what are the aspects that has been working for Lucknow? That's a team which doesn't have like orange cap holders or purple cap holders, or not even contingents for that. But yet this team is at number three, which shows consistency, contribution throughout 11.
I think one of the major moves which they did was Marcus Stoinis at number three. I think that was one move which kind of made their thinking very clear. They were struggling. Unfortunately, they were struggling with that number three. Devdutt Padikkal was out of form, and although with all due respect, he's someone who has to open the innings. Number three is not a position for him, and they tried Deepak Hooda too. But ultimately, they came on to a point that let's use Marcus Stoinis, who's used to open the batting in Big Bash. So let's try that, and that has been doing wonders. And he has already played two match-winning knocks with the bat at number three. So if Marcus Stoinis is batting at three, and you have someone like Nicholas Puran walking in at number four, followed by Badoni and Deepak Hooda and all those people, I think that has made this team more balanced. And of course, one major setback they are having is injury to Mayank Yadav. Uh, had a lot of he was a sensation and had a lot of hopes, but again injury kind of put things back for him, and we are hearing that he might not take part in the rest of the season. So that's a little bit of worry for them. What I will suggest personally is, unless if they are playing in outside Lucknow, when they are playing outside Lucknow, they should try to have a look at Shamar Joseph. Just played one game. He bowled well, and his figures doesn't do justice to what how he bowled. So I think bringing in someone like Shamar Joseph will do a lot of give a lot of teeth to that bowling attack. Other than that, they started opening with Arshin Kulkarni, the latest under 19 Indian all-rounder. Although he had a golden duck to his name, but I think he's a prospect, and I really appreciate that they are encouraging that under 19 kid to open the innings. So that's a great opportunity for that kid also.
Okay, so the next team that we're going to move and discuss about is Sunrisers Hyderabad, a team which kind of at the first half of the tournament were very well known for their style of play, where it was kind of like the template, they want to start very aggressively, but then they had like two reverses at home and one against CSK, and they won a very, very close match against Rajasthan, which kind of brought their campaign back on track. And seeing this team, and do you see there's a change in style of play they're gonna do for the second half of the tournament for qualifying?
Uh, if you talk about the previous game, it was very, very evident that they understood the need of the surface. The surface was little too paced, what I thought, and when Abhishek Sharma lost his wicket early, Travis Head usually we don't see Travis Head playing the waiting game, but we saw him playing that waiting game and trying to take the innings little deeper, which allowed Nitish Reddy to accelerate from the other end. So this makes very clear that one person will hold the innings and one person will go hammer and tongs. If that is the plan, I think that is a nice blueprint for them going forward. They dropped Eden Markram. I think we discussed that last time also, but again they brought in Marco Jansen, I didn't really understand the logic behind that because they already have two left arm seamers in Natarajan and Jaydev Unadkat. If at all you needed a batting, I think you would have gone with someone like Glenn Phillips at that position. But still, I think they won. But I will still like to see, even if they bring back Markram, it will be fine. But if they look at Glenn Phillips also, it will look good in that paper. And one more thing which I wanted to add here is the Anmol Preet Singh at number three. I don't know how feasible is that. If you want to play someone like Anmol Preet Singh at number three, I think you will better use someone like Washington Sundar as a floater, or even bring back Rahul Tripathi for that matter. I think that is the only area which they need to have a look on.
Mm. So we'll move on to the next team, that is Chennai Super Kings. Again, this is a team which is kind of is probably not in the news as much as we would have liked. But I think it's still doing well. 10 out of 5, they still have very good chances of qualifying for the playoffs. They had couple of matches which didn't go their way. Losing against Punjab at home was something they didn't expect, and even they even lost against Lucknow as well. Despite their captain Ruturaj Gaikwad performing exceedingly well. And how do you see the prospects of this team going forward? Do you see them qualifying for the playoffs? If yes, what they have to do
They can still,
for
yeah,
qualifying?
yeah, they can still qualify. There is no second thoughts in it, but they have to sweat a little bit. That's what I, clearly say here. And I think the juggling in the batting order is not helping their cause. Uh, Someone like Samir Rizvi is being floated around and he's not starting starting on the starting 11. So that is not something encouraging. And Ajinkya Rahane opening the innings is, I don't know, it's not looking great. CSK is known to trust their players and back their players, but he had a stellar season the last time around. But leading into the season, we already spoke about this in the previous video. His form was not so great leading into this IPL. And if you want to open with him, that kind of makes the batting order handicap. If they try to somehow bring in Samir Rizvi at the playing 11 and start opening with Moeen Ali, even if they do that, I think they will be sorted. Now Richard Gleeson is available. Now he has bowled well in the previous game. Now Mustafizur Rahman is not available anymore. Now, with that, we will see Mukesh Chaudhary coming in for that position, and we will see Tushar Deshpande uh, and Patirana too. Patirana, I'm hearing that is available for selection. So, even though there is a jolt in the bowling, I think they still can come back if they do that reaching in the batting order. They can still do that, but the path is not easy, but they can do that.
Okay. So I think you can never write off CSK. CSK has been a team of very consistent. So far the top 5 teams have been very close with each other. It's not, except for RR, which has kind of qualified, and with KKR having 1 foot inside. But again, top 5 has been very close between the teams in terms of the points, in terms of the quality that they play. So the next team that we want to talk about is Delhi Capitals. This team has played 11 games and won 5, and they have to win the remaining 3 matches on a trot to reach that magic number of 8 wins and 16 points. And this is a team which has kind of found its combination, its mojo, probably at the second half or leading up to the second half. And how do you see this team performing, and what they should be doing well to edge past those teams and go into the playoffs?
First of all, Delhi Capitals has improved a lot, as you rightly pointed out, and they have found the right combination with the available resources, and they packed their batting with the overseas stars, and that really kind of working for them. But one thing which they messed up was the previous game against KKR. Had they won that game, they could have made their case much stronger for the qualification. With that defeat and also the heavy defeat which they got, Now it makes things more tougher. I don't say it will be. It's not impossible now. Even though they are playing, they have 3 games. They can still go to 16 points, which is enough to qualify. But the matches which they are going to play is they are going to play Lucknow. They are going to play Rajasthan Royals and RCB. So these 3 fixtures, I think it's going to be a little tough for DC. But if they somehow pull themselves back from the defeat against KKR, and if they play the consistent cricket, the play the brand of cricket which they were playing in the previous few games, I think they still can go into top 4. But it looks a little tough. But if they replicate that, you never know what will happen.
Yeah, I think the DC should be concentrating on doing their part of the job by winning all the 3 matches. And like you said, they have matches against LSG and RR who are in top 4. I think RR is almost in. I think by winning against LSG, it can increase their chances as well as kind of reducing the chances of a team which are in direct competition with you for that spot. So I think DC has that realistic chance of going to 16. So let's see how they're going to perform under the new regime and under the new style of play that they have. So the next team that we want to talk about is RCB, the team which had like 6 losses in a row and which looked down and out, and now they have won 3 matches in a row. And I think they found their combination very well. But the maximum points that they can go is up to 7, up to 7 wins, which means 14
14
points.
points.
And them, so I think the qualification scenario is very very tough for them because there's a lot of competition in the top 4, 5, top 6 teams where they can go up till 16 points. So they would be hoping for many results to go in their way, and all those calculations in terms of net run rate and everything should go their way to qualify. But I think more or less I think they're almost done. But again, it's great for the fans that they're performing well. And what do you see has changed? What was the mistakes that they did because they lost 6 matches, and what are the right things they're doing because they're winning 3 in a row right now?
I think whatever spoke in the initial preview videos, that was a combination which we were recommending RCB to play, but again they didn't play that. But now apparently the situations kind of force them, or I don't know what. They are playing their combination now, and they have understood that what is their strength. Like what I said about DC, same applies to RCB too. Their strength is their batting. Even see, if their batting is such that even if they concede 260 runs, they have the capacity to chase down that 260 6 out of 10 times, because they have that batting might. But unfortunately, they found that combination very late. Uh, Now, only one thing which they can do is they can play for the fans, which they are doing, and it also will help them to find who will be the 4 players which can be retained going forward in the mega auctions. Other than that, there is nothing much to gain for RCB. They will just have to play the rest of the games with the how they played the last 4 games. Try to win each of them and see what happens. But qualification is out of sight.
Mm. Yeah. So the next team that we're going to talk about is Punjab Kings. Again, they had a few revelations in terms of the players who have started performing, especially the local players with Shashank Singh and Ashutosh Sharma. I think they have been 2 standard players, and you always seen Harpreet Brar has been a consistent player for them.
Yeah.
So I think if there's any confidence that they can look into it, is that they have found few players, and they even beat CSK and Chepauk. So this team is looking really good. And this is another team which has realistic chance of reaching to 8 wins
Yeah.
and going to 16 points. And I think they had 2 great matches, man. I think you cannot deny that.
Yeah.
They had the biggest, highest chase in the history of IPL, and going to Chepauk and winning that match pretty consistent, pretty
Totally.
convincingly. So I think, I think they will be having that confidence, and I think, and if they can do well, their aim should be to go up to 8 wins.
Yeah, absolutely rightly said. They are going to play Rajasthan Royals, CSK, and RCB. Tough opponents, but again, you never know what can happen. And I really
Mm.
like the way Sam Curran has led this team, and his bowling changes, his field settings, everything is spot on. Even especially the last game, I think I have to really speak about that 19th over which he gave to Rahul Chahar to restrict MS Dhoni. I think that was that was the evidence of how good a captain he is. So I think they can go. There's a realistic chance. Definitely, there's a realistic chance.
Yeah. So the next team is the Gujarat Titans. When the Titans had great 2 seasons, they were the first team in both the seasons to qualify for the playoffs. And right now, they're struggling. And the maximum points that they can go is up to 14 with 7 wins. And if they win all 3 matches in a row. I think it's definitely a disappointing campaigning for them, because now they're dependent on other teams and other results to go in their way for qualifying. And what do you think went wrong for them, and what can they do right to win all the 3 matches?
Uh, Injuries is the main concern. They already lost key players before the tournament began. Even after the tournament began, they had the players, but they didn't find the right combination, the right level. They had confusions regarding Spencer Johnson and Omar Zai, whom to play and whom not to play. And today they brought in Josh Little into the mix in so late in the tournament, and they are not still exposed Karthik Tyagi. So that is the main issue with them. But I will still say, we have to cut some slack for JT. They have been a consistent team in the past 2 years, and this kind of fall had to come because that's a circle, no. So I really won't, complain a lot if I'm a GT, if I'm in a GT management. I give some time. I will try to find who are my core players going forward. And under Shubman Gill, I think this GT team will build this core really well. And next three
Mm.
four years, we'll see a much more consistent side because they already showed that what they can do, what their management can do in the initial seasons. So I think forget this season, play out the rest of the games without fear, and see what happens next season.
Okay. So the last team that we want to talk about is Mumbai Indians. If you had shown this table to us at the start of the season, I think we would have joked. We would have thought that was a joke or a prank. With the team that they had on paper was brilliant in terms of combination, brilliant in terms of individual players, brilliant in terms of the skill set that they possess. And yet they're finding at the bottom of the table. And it is the first team which has no mathematical uh, opportunity to qualify for the playoffs as well. Leave about realistic, there's not even mathematical chances. So, I mean, what do you think it went wrong? Because I was watching the last match. It was in Wankhede. They bowled very well. I think they got KKR to 60 for 7 or something, and they led them off the hook to 170, and they lost the match. Still lost the match. It's not the Mumbai that we know. Usually they're very ruthless. So nothing has been working for them. And what do you think is the main reason? What comes in your head? Top 2 3 reasons.
I think captaincy has been really bland. The right example, you spoke about the previous game against KKR. When you have the opposition, when you have caught their neck, you have to finish them off. Instead of giving that overs there to Jasprit Bumrah and try to finish off the tail, you are going and trying your push the overs with yourself and Naman Dheer. I think that's not a smart move, and you have really let them off the hook. And when you started chasing, Rohit Sharma is in a terrible form, which everyone has to accept. And Surya Kumar Yadav has been on and off. And Tilak Verma has had a rare failure. And Hardik Pandya hasn't taken any responsibility either with the bat or the ball. They have incredible team, and I'm still saying they have got one of the best bunches in terms of combinations. And if you take all the 10 teams, but if they are finding themselves at the bottom of the table and with no mathematical realistic chances of qualifying, they have only themselves to blame and no one else.
So that's it, guys, from us. I mean, there's still 4 games for few teams and 3 games for few teams. And we'll meet you then. We'll meet you at the business end of the tournament and see if there are any surprising matches or surprising, exciting, nail-biting finishes, and how the nature of IPL, where everything changes and turns. So that's it, guys, from us, and we'll see you in other videos. Until then, tata, bye bye. See you.
Bye bye.